This is the Bottom Line Liberia. Join us on Facebook, YouTube and online radio. This is the Bottom Line Liberia. Join us on Facebook, YouTube and online radio.
Through trials and tribulations, you have prevailed. The spirit is unbreakable, never derailed. With a rich heritage and culture and grace, Liberia, you are the land we embrace.
You are welcome to the Bottom Line Liberia.
And so officially we say you're welcome to the Bottom Line Liberia discussions. Today is the 29th of April 2025, and so fast the year is moving. In the next 12 hours we'll be entering, make it 24 hours, we'll be entering May. And so if you're celebrating your birthday or you have any special occasion, we'd like to say welcome and congratulations. So tonight, Paul, the Lord Triple is here along with Francis Mensah. Together we'll be having wonderful discussions right here on the Bottom Line Liberia. Please join us and make it your home. Share the show as well. And so let me say welcome to Paul, the Lord Triple.
Yeah, Linford, it's good to be back on the Bottom Line discussion. Can you hear me, bro?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great. And how is your end? I mean, in terms of weather, at this time of the year, we tend to have very good weather, and then as we approach the summer, we're almost there. We're just on the edge of the summer, so I don't know how is the weather from your end.
Well, the weather is fantastic. I think this summer is getting closer now. Today everyone were in t-shirts just to show you that things are getting better here. So we're all looking forward to this wonderful summer to enjoy the fantastic sunshine this year by His grace. Yeah.
And I don't know if you notice this thing in Liberia when the sun's shining, or almost around the equator belt in Africa when the sun is hot, people complaining, but here it's something that we're looking up to, but it's good, and like you said, it's good that we are moving towards the summer gradually. And I like the weather in Europe, right? We go through that very scorching cold, that what you call it, winter, and then gradually the snow start to go away, especially those of us that live in the attic. And then when the snow goes away little by little, then the sun starts shining small. And, when the sun shines, you can feel it. It can be shining bright, but it's like somebody flashing light on you. So then it starts getting warm, small, for the body to adjust. So imagine that we come from that kind of cold, and then all of a sudden you wake up one day to 45 degrees. You know what will happen to you?
Yeah.
So the weather can take its own time, and that's what I like about it. That today the sun was shining, but it's manageable. You can't feel it too much. But I can promise you, Paul, sometime in June, every year, maybe at least 1 or 2 weeks, it's bad. I mean, real sun, some that I know that artificial sun, they think too hot until when you just start your skin burning. But don't mind, after those 2 weeks, brother, then you're heading for the fall. But we want to say welcome to those of you joining us the first time or Chadela Branch Replay. If we do not have any follower, this is the only follower we have. Always here on time and pushing us. And let me also welcome those of you whose names I cannot see now on my dashboard. Probably Paul can see some of you. From Liberia, we got 2 people watching from Jala TV. So help us to share the show. And if you're coming for the first time, invite somebody. So, Paul, what's on your mind? Why we wait for Francis to come?
Well, Linford, I'll say good evening to our audience and welcome to the Bottom Line discussion. If you're joining us for the first time, kindly share the show. We'll be looking at what is happening in West Africa recent time, it has not sparked internationally regarding the assassination attempt on Captain Ibrahim Traore. Is now becoming a lot of people, Africans all around the globe, is talking about this. It's a massive protest coming up, protesting against the U.S. and the French. Uh, Most people are calling that they should gather at their embassies around the world because what they're doing, the assassination attempt was actually orchestrated by the U.S. and France. And one of the U.S. general talked about it in on one of the House hearing, and this now people are talking about it. So we'll be diving into what's going on. Why is this young man, Captain Abraham Traore, getting so much attraction? Now there's other two leaders also that join with him, but they're not getting that attraction more than he getting. So we'll look at why. And also we'll go into Liberia. Is Liberia a serious country? After Supreme Court ruling, Liberia still the same. The impasse is still continue. So we'll look at that, and then we'll conclude on Liberia. So that's what on my mind. And what about you?
Basically, it's the same
What
on
do
my
you think?
mind. I've been following this Abraham Traore uh, event. Last Friday when we were here, we did discuss it, and I was one person who said, "Well, I can't believe it. It could be like sometimes some of the leaders. I will not say he now, but most African leaders or some leaders around the world will let them do that as a means of getting rid of their opposition group, and so they will always plan these false coups. And I mean, because it's unbelievable. The guy came to power 2020, was it 2020 or 2023? 2020 something he came to power, and within a short time, 18 coup attempts and plots against him. That's surprising because under normal circumstances that shouldn't happen, especially if this guy was just brutal to say when he came to power, he started killing all the people. He started, but this is somebody who is bringing development to his country. I mean, somebody who want to argue, but we can see the evidences. We've seen people who went there, independent journalists who went to that country, and they show the work of the guy. And for people to have that kind of mind against him, it's all orchestrated again, like we said, by the former colonial powers, because it's like a slap in the face. Whereas a group that you've been controlling from time immemorial, somebody will just come from far away, the least expected, and the person can and put you out, and so I think it can hurt. Like in Liberian, the way we can talk, we say the thing can hurt. The thing can hurt. So it's hurting them, and that's why
Mhm.
all of that. So I've been following it, and you mentioned the U.S. General Michael Langley. I follow him. In fact, I made some posts about him as well. And also, there is uh, another another clip that I watched about General Langley, where the guy was testifying before the House. That's in testimony where he mentioned that Traore is using the
Mhm.
gold to protect himself. In that same testimony, a congressman asked him about about the performance of AFRICOM, you know, that Africa Command group that they got, that military group in Africa. And the guy revealed that they train people, and all the
Mhm.
people, most of them go and overthrow that government. They mentioned Guinea president, the current military leader in Guinea right now.
Yeah.
He trained with them, and they show even picture. The Congress guy show even picture of him with American soldiers, and just few weeks after he overthrew. So this is a serious thing, and for this guy to open his mouth and say that Traore is enriching himself, he's protecting himself with the goal and not caring for his people, this is concerning. But we'll dive into all of that. So those are basically some of mine. And on the home front, of course, the impasse continue, like you said. When people would have thought that after the Supreme Court ruling decision, people will settle down and begin to compare notes and see where they went wrong, and they can try to mend their fences. I think it's so those are just few of the things on my mind, and we'll dive into that. But I don't know if you have anything to say. We'll take a quick break and then get back to real discussions.
Well, I think we should. I think we want to play the commercial and then we'll get into the discussion instead of the long break because we want to ask our audience that with us today just kindly share the show wherever you and just drop a comment so we can know where you're viewing from. That's what I
Okay.
said. So we can, yeah, that's what I always suggest. I don't know what you think.
No, we can do that. But let me just recognize a few people again. Chadela Brown, Winston Cooper. My nephew is watching all the way from Rwanda, one of the countries that impresses me in Africa. In fact, the leader of that country, not the country itself, Rwanda, and also Augustus Gatune, our own man, a member of the bottom line team, is watching us from Germany. So I don't know if you can see some other people on your dashboard, but I want to say help us to share the show. If you're in Liberia, if this is your first time, we also ask that you help us to invite people. Patience Bowie is also here. We want to say welcome, Patience Bowie learners, and we know that we're going to have some good discussions tonight. So, Paul, you can let the commercial roll.
Great. Yeah, so Hans Vodka is one of the bottle line sponsors. So please share the show while we play this our commercial break. Kindly share the show, please.
Di Lorenzo, G Grace. Hems Vodka, Liberian #1 Vodka, Liberian #1, right? Okay.
The phrase, a new sheriff is in town, does not only belong to law enforcement. How about the introduction of Liberia's premier vodka, a quality and customized liquor for all occasions? Try the flavor of your choice. Ham's Vodka, Ham's Honey, Ham's Bitter, and Ham's Original Vodka. Ham's Vodka has no hangover. That's why they say Papa drank Mama happy. Ham's Vodka is sold in all stores, shops, supermarkets, and entertainment centers in Liberia. For wholesale, contact Hans Vodka at 0777 001114, 0777 000 We can also be reached via social media on Facebook and IG at Hans Vodka or www.hansvodka.com. In the United States, please contact Hans North America Incorporated at 610-543-9289, 484-888-1622, 484-755-8411. Hans Vodka is approved by the U.S. federal government. Hans Vodka brings out the real man in you.
I tell you in my boy and my blood. Every time when I stay on the block, everybody knows it. We are stand. And forgot that #1. Oh, from Liberia all around. In supermarket store and everywhere. And forgot that #1. Oh.
This is the Bottom Line Liberia. Join us on Facebook, YouTube and online radio. This is the Bottom Line Liberia. Join us on Facebook, YouTube and online radio.
Well, the Bottom Line Liberia discussions is here, and here we are this beautiful Tuesday evening from my end, the 29th day of April 2025, meaning that we are going 4 months in the new year, and nothing seems to be improving on the home front, Liberia, but yet chaos is engulfing the House of Representatives for a simple position. When they were sent there by their people to go and work and represent them, but rather they are seeking their own interest. Paul, where we want us to start?
So we're going to start with Captain Abraham Traoré that have, for some reason, since the coup attempt on his left, the 18th or the 19th coup attempt assassination plot against him, it had not sparked a lot of international tension on Abraham Traoré. this young man has gained attraction. So I'm going to put that welcome Francis first found before we get into the topic. Brother Francis, welcome.
Thank you so much, guys.
You see, President all over the world I see you. They made a president for EFLA. He can wait. We did not get position. We come for it. Then he can lie. See, president just
advanced team going clear the error.
That's the privilege.
I know, right?
It's good. It's good to have you. Yeah.
Stuff back home, man. The first dinner with my kids. I didn't know the money. So. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, kind of share the show, gentlemen. So welcome, Francis. We're talking about, it was on Tuesday we had it's a Tuesday or Friday we had a discussion about the coup d'etat on Captain Ibrahim Traoré. But now we thought it was one of those things that African leaders usually do to say, oh, let me keep fake coups and things to stay in power. But this one have not gained a lot of attraction from all over the world. And so we're going to dive into it before we drag into Mama Liberia, the country that for some reason seems not to be stable for, and other people are making headway while Liberia is going down the drain. We'll talk about that. So to our audience, there's a well-known person in the West here called George Galloway. George Galloway was MP before. He one of those persons that he have his own talk show podcast. They call it Mothers of All Talk Shows. George Galloway now have also picked up this. So I just want to get into this and then we'll have our talk. It's about 5-minute clip. Very interesting conversation. So let me see if I can
talk to you this week, because it's a difficult subject, this, for me as a white man to raise. But I saw this House Negro head of AFRICOM, a black African American, threaten to kill the great leader of Burkina Faso, Captain Ibrahim Traoré. And it made me so mad I reached out for Nico House for a point of view on it. Did you see it? And what do you think of it?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, let me say congratulations, George, on all the success that you've been having. It's well deserved. I mean, from the guests to the topics that you cover, I feel like it's not really that many people giving so much diversity. And I know that Piers Morgan is trying his best to copy you, but it doesn't quite hit the same when you're not as dedicated to the truth as a presenter as you are. So let me just say congratulations on that. And yeah, absolutely. I saw Lingley's comments about Ibrahim, how he's supposedly using the gold reserves to provide his own private security. And let me just say, first of all, that's not true. Second of all, if it was true, let's be honest, wouldn't it be somewhat justified considering the fact that they continue to make attempts on his life? I mean, they just recently made another failed attempt on his life. That's probably why they're upset and why they're now going out of their way to bring it to the attention of the national public, to try and create this narrative, not unlike what we saw happen with Libya and Gaddafi, because Ibrahim has had that type of impact in West Africa when we're talking about not only uplifting Burkina Faso, but then uniting West African countries like Mali and Niger, so that they can combat Western imperialism and the NATO allies that try to oppress them.
Well, that's right. His own bodyguards were offered $5 million to kill him. Now, it's no coincidence that the money involved was dollars. The United States and France are determined to do to Captain Traoré what they did to so many others. In Burkina Faso, to the great Thomas Sankara, in the Congo, to the great Patrice Lumumba, and so many other leaders that they have dispensed with extreme prejudice, because their own interests were threatened by an African leader who's actually governing in the interests of his own people and not of the empire.
Yep. I mean, this is a guy in Ibrahim Traoré who wears the same uniform every single day. Not fancy suits, just a casual military uniform. He has no type of luxury. No one in the government is permitted to live any type of luxury. You know what he has done with the gold in Burkina Faso? What he's done is nationalize 2 gold mines that would have otherwise been sold for actually far less than what they're making after he nationalized it. That money is going towards the people. And the reason that no one in the government is allowed to live a life of luxury is because until the people of Burkina Faso can live that type of lifestyle, legally without corruption, then he believes that no one in Burkina Faso should be allowed to live that type of luxury, especially members of the government. He has created a tomato processing facility that's doing very well for the agriculture there. I mean, just over the last couple of years, he's made so many positive changes, and it's all come from internal nationalized movement. And by the way, has been able to do this while Ukraine and Zelensky, on the other hand, of course, with the help of the United States, have been trying to train terrorists to fight the military of Burkina Faso, because France couldn't do so and were kicked out after they tried to, they threatened Burkina Faso after Ibrahim took over, but it didn't work out, just like it didn't work out in Niger. And even though they've been combating terrorism that has been brought about by the United States and helped and funded by Ukraine, Zelensky actually bragged about training terrorists actually recently. He's still been able to carry out these economic measures to help the people of Burkina Faso, and it's been so inspirational. I think that, honestly, George, has been the scariest part. It's not just the success. If he was merely successful, then he would be a problem, and maybe it would be an isolated problem. They would probably try to take him out quietly, because we know they've done that with actually a lot of African leaders over the last maybe 6 or 7 years. They've taken them out quietly. But they're trying to make an example of Ibrahim, because Ibrahim has been so impactful as an inspiration to the rest of Africa. And they're worried that, especially in the current state of the world, that other African nations are going to realize they don't need the West. And I saw your quote. I saw your quote getting passed around on Instagram, actually. There were different reactions to it. And I said, I know, George, and I know exactly what he's trying to say. He's trying to say, believe in your own self-determination and be willing to fight the fight. Do not trade in your values or undersell yourself or your potential for these Western values that are just a facade. They're fugazi. They don't really exist. Africans have so much potential. They're so naturally good at everything. I mean, whether it comes to engineering, medicine, anything in between, they do so much more with much less. That how can you not believe in your own potential? I was telling people, I'm like, he's telling Africans, don't sell yourself short. And I understand how the message can, be received the wrong way because of you being white. But I was saying it doesn't matter if he's white. He's telling the truth, because I know other Africans like David Huyeden, who reports from Nigeria.
Yes, guys. So,
You hold it all, guys.
Yeah.
This young man, go on.
Okay. As I watched that video today, and so many other videos, the entire day, different episodes. But one thing that came to my mind is, why is the West jittering? Why is country like America even concerned about one of African country, one tiny little African country is very insignificant, that was not even involved with slave trade in America? This country was colonized by France. This little country called Burkina Faso, a country that is almost not heard of until recently in the 70s. In fact, not in the 70s, in the 80s, when Thomas Sankara came to power. Okay? Now, another thing that makes me to wonder when I listen to General Langley, a black man, who is supposed to be the descendant of former slave, okay, and this man is supposed to have connection to Africa by color, regardless he had not been to Africa. I mean, as he was not born in Africa, though he's all over the place, planting coups and all the kind of thing, but this man should be having connection to Africa by virtue of his color. So if they were killing black people all around the world just for worst case scenario, you think they will spare you? They will not spare you. The fact that you get black color, okay? And he's serving as a general honor of president. This president was there the last time this president was president, 4 years ago. He made a statement that went viral for months on the internet. This man called, he doesn't even know, apparently Donald Trump doesn't even know that Africa is not a country. It's a continent with 54 countries. But he bundled all of us as one country and he said, Africa is what a shithole country, excuse my expression. So if this, and he said African people should go back to their country to try to live by themselves, go to that shithole country. So if one of the tiniest countries in this shithole continent, which is Burkina Faso, says, well, we want to be by ourselves now. At least you want us to go, we want to be by ourselves. France, you go. We don't want no intervention in anything here. We can suffer by ourselves. Even if we die, we die. Why isn't America happy? Or Donald Trump is back in power. Why isn't he happy? Why is his general there threatening the leader of this country that wants to be alone? They have taken a risk and say, well, we'll be by ourselves, you'll leave us, whether we die or not, that's our business. Why are they jittering? And why is France so much with all the other colonies that they got? Why are they so concerned about the first? Well, the answer is simple. It's the mineral. And it's like you've been maneuvering somebody for a very long time, and all of a sudden the person wakes up one morning and begin to behave differently. You'll be surprised. Isn't this the man that have been puppeting all around here? Why put sense in his head? I think he will make other people eye to open. That's the fear that they have.
What say you, Francis?
Look, you guys said it all. I mean, Linford practically said what I wanted to say that I was really thinking about. The thing is that America, the global West, they just don't want anybody to, especially from an African country, to challenge the status quo. They have been so used, they have been so accustomed of this exploiting our resources. Nobody's standing up to them. They have say in our geopolitical structure, our political architect, who we rely as president, and so these things are becoming abnormal to the West, because there are several African countries like South Africa. Since the apartheid, and after they stood up to the West, America, the Britain. South Africa has its own is the strongest economy in Africa, so to speak. They have a little country, a desert country, that was dirt. Kudos to the leadership of Burkina Faso during 1990. Burkina Faso was basically the capital city. Ouagadougou, right? Yeah, It was basically dirt, but now the past leaders have actually done well. So the West just want a mineral, and they actually know. The same thing Trump trying to arm twist Ukrainian president. They have the kind of mineral deal, the American as France. So at least we have somebody that will stand up to them. They will have so many attempts on your life. So many attempts on your life. And I hope he be very resolute and resilient, against the West.
Well, there's something here, and I want you to leave for the look at it. There are other two leaders too that taking similar line of this guy, but the young man seems to most people gravitate towards him compared to the other two, the Niger and what the other country? Mali. Yeah, so you see.
No, but it is. Yeah, okay, complete there because you asked we should look at it. So
yeah,
complete.
Because all of the three countries doing the same thing. But the youngest among the three is the one now that is the target. You see, the young one is that he's the brain behind this tree. So I just want you guys to chime in. Why the focus is on him more compared to the other two?
Okay, you gotta read between lines. I don't remember well the the military leader in Mali, the one in Niger, and Traore. Which one of them came to power first is what we need to look at. And whoever came to power first, how did they start? What was that policy? Is what we need to look at first. But how be it, because I really don't know which one of them came to power first. I've not been following that part of Africa for some time because like I said, they are nominal states for me, countries for me. So when Traore came to power, the way he started, the trajectory that he started on, the way he started moving things. So let's just be hypothetical and say it was Mali president that came to power first. Because I remember when Mali had that problem, Liberian went there to fight. I mean, Liberian went there to be part of ECOWAS to keep peace. So I know Mali started first. But the Malian president did not start on that footing like Traore. Okay? So when Traore came to power, he laid down blueprint that will emancipate the people of Burkina Faso and the entire country. So Mali said, oh yeah, but I think we had a similar idea, but this young man is taking the lead, so we'll fall in line. And then came Niger to follow. So in every organization, in every undertaking, there must be somebody that will start the lead, even if the three of us here will establish a company. Okay? One of us will be the one to bring the idea up, and then the rest of us will pull resources together. So I think the reason why all attention is on Traore is the way he started. He probably the other two guys were thinking about it, but they had different approach. But the approach that Traore brought was the one that kick start the whole revolution in this Sahel states. You see, so that's why the focus is on it. Now, not that the West is not thinking about Mali and Niger. I think in their mind they are soft targets. So let's try. The snake is the head. The moment you call the head of the snake, the rest of it are just the body. So if we can get rid of this guy with all the great plans, with all the ideas, the other people will be afraid to follow us. And that's a fear tactic that they want to do. And one of the videos that I saw for Traore, he made a statement. He said every time he gets approached by people who say the way you want to do things, Sankara wanted to do it. Where is he? He's there. The way he trying to do things, all the other leaders wanted to do it. They are there. Patrice Lumumba, Blaise Compaoré. So he cited example on all the people. See? So and he said that this is how they want to put fear in, and logically, anybody would be afraid. The three of us here, they would do something and they grab me and punish me for it. You see, I mean, the way they punish our man, myself, I think I'll drop out. A lot of people not brave. So he said, but we got to be brave. This is a revolution that we started, and we are in it with our soul, our heart, and our everything. So, the fear factors will always be there. And if you cannot stand fear, you just got to go because there's no medicine for fear.
Right. So before Francis chimed in, this is the general that brought the whole thing on himself. And the reason why I'm going to put this is a 50-minute clip on this general. The question people keep asking now, when it comes to African leaders, they always find a black man to kill African. And that link with Barack Obama were used to kill Gaddafi. So let the audience listen to this guy who now at the center of this
Chairman,
controversy that
I
is
see
happening.
this, and I don't mind calling them out, but Captain Tory and Burkina Faso, as they know that both, whether it's their gold reserves, that is all those proceeds are just in exchange to protect the junta regime. There's a number of examples across. Even in Sudan, what's going on with the rapid support forces and in Burhan of the Sudan forces, when you get down to it, is all about the revenue that can be drawn out of that. And there are nefarious actors in the CCP or in sometimes Russia are complicit in those activities.
You know, when they ready for you, they come up with story. Saddam Hussein, he had the weapon of mass destruction. So now they going studying the West that they men using a gold for himself. Now the people, they found something on you to start selling it to their people, then they're ready to take you off. Friends say, what say you? Because this is the thing that annoying. And there's another clip I got to play after that where Michael F. said, Africans, they did a black man wake up. What say you? Because when they start something, they're linking him now with the goal because they're not getting access to the goal. So he's using the goal for himself. So they rather label him, then they go after him. Talk to me, Francis.
Look, as I stated earlier, look, the global West, once they do not have access to your resources to control the internal political arrangement in your country, they will come up with all the reasons to find ways to what you call it, connect you to some corruption, malfeasance, just to get, as a propaganda. Matter of fact, they try to use it as a propaganda now to make the guy unpopular, and then the West, then connecting him to Russia, so those who are, who are anti, Russian or anti-communist, who have that ideology, we think that, hey, this guy is turning the people of Burkina Faso towards the communist, the East, and that's not true. But even at that, if it's true, it's a sovereign country. The man has the right to decide who he wants to associate with as a country. So what got in Liberia, we say, what America got of their fish, you got frying the man or let the people do what they have to do. It's not bothering America. No, America has no strategic national, historical connection with Burkina Faso. So they want to play the advocate or want to come in as a conduit for France. So let them do it, but no, they have nothing to do with it, man. With how he govern his people, and he's not doing anything illegal. He's not abusing human rights. I mean, so he has, according to the ratings, I mean, he's one of the loved presidents in Africa.
Okay, I think just to add a little bit to what Francis said. Like I said before, this is one little country in Africa. This supposed to be S whole country, continent. So why? So if all the African countries have done what Donald Trump said before, that you should go to your country, leave America. If everybody had come back and say, okay, America, do not come to us too, what were they going to do? And in the first place, all they go that General Langley is concerned about, or black men, let him show me one gold mine in Africa, in America, or coal mine, or whatever mine it is that any country in Africa owns, or any country from around the world owns. No other country in the world owns anything in America like gold mine or diamond mine or whatever. It's France, all the colonizers, they're the one in Africa, on our continent, and taking what we have. Okay, I live Norway here. Then they show me one mine where African owns. You can't even buy for you to even buy one old house. They play houses they build here for you to buy one. You will almost pass through Who to get it? You get it, you pay for it until your children can pay, everybody pay and die. In Africa, when we pay our little small house, it's for you. You're not owing nobody, you're not owing nobody, nothing, it's for you. Because you save your money to build it. Now, Donald Trump, just recently, when he came back to power, what he did, he started sending people out. They started arresting people in the street. Okay? They will grab you in the street and ask you for a paper. So these people, they say, okay, we go back to our country. Now, their resources that they got in our country is what they're coming to live by. So what concern you? Whether their president will take all the go and go put in the ocean, whether, if for them, leave them. Nobody, and now you put it there. It's not for you. You are not raising it. It's not like animal to say, oh, I'm feeding this animal. And, and I said this General Langley, when he was on a congressional hearing, he was on a fire. I listened to the other side of the video. There was a very serious argument where the guy asking, a young guy, a young congressman, asking, why are you using the taxpayers' money to train people to go overthrow government in Africa? Then he talks about information. Something what you use about information. And that is that information. I just forgot the word. That information Sonny use is what they are using against Traore now. They gave people misinformation about you. The same thing they did with Saddam. Saddam was supposed to have this weapon of mass destruction that he can just blow the whole world all one time. They went in there, they fought Saddam, they grabbed him. They didn't find no mass weapon. If this man got a weapon of mass destruction, why did you go there? Aren't you afraid to die? When the man supposed to blow the whole world.
And who they use?
Barack.
Who they use? A black man.
Then when they came to Africa, Gaddafi was supposed to be this demon in Africa. That the things he's done, no other person, even Hitler was better than him. In their own interpretation, they killed Saddam. Where is Iraq today? Or where is Libya today? In Libya, people stay on land to buy sardine and open it, then they divide the pieces of sardine in a cup. One man cannot buy the whole sardine can. Okay? So they do these things when they see any country progressing. They don't want it. They think it's very simple. My friend, you and I live in a Europe here. You see, you sit in the classroom with their children and you go to school. When you graduate, the same children will get job before you. I'm a living witness. Okay? When you go, they say, out here, somebody will tell you to speak perfect Norwegian when you're not born here. Then when you go, they look at you, they say, okay, your CV is good, but my own experience, where they want somebody who get at least, the guy said in a job ad, they say at least bachelor's degree. I apply for a master's degree in the same profession. Then they go take a job and give it to somebody who has been working there for a year. He's not in the college, the federal government school level, which is like they are 13th grade. When the boy who was doing the interview with me, when I went to him, he said, I don't even know what to tell you. Because this job, they said they wanted at least bachelor, but you got a degree and you are the only person with that degree that apply for it. But they said they don't know you from Africa, so they rather give it to a man who has been working there for a year and his son will train him on the job. You see? And these are the people who will come to us and try to detect what we do. But it's been for long. I want to ask one question, the three of us here. How do we end up here? How did black people end up being slaves for another group of people? Where did our parents start from? Our great-grandparents. There was a song that I listened to one time, and I tried to look for that song. I didn't know the title. But that song, one word in a state called my ears. The song says, every generation will blame the last generation. The same way we blame our parents. You know, how did this slave trade start? How did we end up being slaves for somebody that even if they say they free us? What? Africa is a continent by itself. How did people come to colonize a whole continent that we even got to reach a point where we say we got independence? For what? From who? How did we end up? So we, the now generation, if we don't stand up, these people will still think that we have their property. No, hell no, we're not supposed. Africa, the continent of Africa, was not even supposed to be colonized. Nobody was supposed to take one piece of land there. But our parents sat down and this thing happened, and we are suffering today. And so our eyes are opening now. If we do stand up, but I'll do this one on my own show. Let's go. Let's move. I'll do.
So if we do stand up, according to you, but Linford, in Africa, we have a lot of puppet government
That's
that
the thing.
beg. If you're if you're beggar, you have no sin. But if you stand up for what is right, you don't beg. You see, and there are so many countries in Africa, including my own country, that depends on them. If you depend on somebody, they will use you. So
Yeah, but Paul,
listen to
sorry, I'm
this
not cutting you
woman.
up, brother. I don't want to cut you up,
I'm
brother.
gonna play
But
up.
we come back to
But
the simple again. We come back to the same question I asked. How do we become beggars when we got what we want? How can we, they want the gold, they want the diamond, they want the iron ore, they want everything, the bauxite, the uranium, just about every damn thing that can make them to live. Okay, we got it. So where did we end up being the beggars when they're supposed to be begging us?
Look, it's simple.
you see, that's
There's
a good.
there's so many
Come on,
factors
Francis.
you can attribute to that. The first thing, the white man, they brought religion, and which is Christianity, even the Islam. It is intended to soften your moral conscience. It is intended to make you
Submissive.
submissive, and then everything in those two books of religion, they are all attributed to the white man. The white man was the survive. I mean, the creator of life. I mean, he provides all these things for you to make you know. He creates freedom, spiritual freedom. I mean, submissive, so being submissive to God, and through Him, it gives you eternal rest, life after death. So then they comes with the military power. Our people were forced to, give us most of the resources they have, their lives in it, because they came with guns. While the people were innovative, while people using bow and arrows and spears, you guys were using guns.
Yeah.
And so this is built in a way that, look, everything that we do, we copy from our system of governance. It comes from from the West, France, Britain, Holland. They colonized Africa, and they left the system of governance there. And is that the system of governance is like,
that's true, Francis.
the system of governance is like, hey, everything it should be given to the people. I mean your masters, and they preach in their own countries that the citizens should be able to enjoy the benefits of the resources that they have. But in Africa, to make it specific, that the people in Africa should not enjoy, the presidents and those who are our so-called benefactors will enjoy from African resources. So the enlightened minds in Africa, they are being seen as a threat to them. So they don't want to have anybody who is enlightened and who can stand up to them, who have a different approach. What happened to the spirit of Pan-Africanism? In the 60s, the movement coming on Nkrumah, Tottenham, Raul Mugabe. Look at Mugabe, how the West treated him. Because he stood up. So these guys can go down in the annals of history that these guys were all people who stood up for the cause of Africa. But hey, our people are sellers. We sell ourselves out, the ordinary people. So I mean,
We said ourselves out to ordinary. So you talk about Pan-African nation, Linford, before you come in. The African voices today across the continent And so I want to play the little clip, then Linford, you can add on it, please.
President Traore is standing up.
This
He is
is
saying the
getting
natural
serious.
resources in Burkina Faso, they belong to the people of Burkina Faso. Niger is doing the same thing. Mali is doing the same thing. Every leader must look at what's happening in the Sahel nations to say, like anybody else, you must take care of your people. You have your natural resources. You have everything you need to take care of your people. Why do you continue to be beggars? Look at what is being brought in by not only USAID, but all the NGOs in your country. It's
Chime in, Linford. I knew you're going to head that way, so I brought that in so you can make the conversation more interesting. Talk to us.
Did you hear the question I was going to ask? You have everything. How did you turn to beggar? The same thing I was saying. We have what the world needs. I don't know. I don't know what I was on the show, but on my own podcast, I made a statement the last time that Africa is blessed with everything. God gave all the bad thing. He turned around and gave all the good thing. And the reason he gave us all the bad thing is for us to be able to withstand hardship. Then he gave us a good thing that we can also enjoy. Now, we got everything that the world needs to live, at least on a daily basis. We got it. So how do we become the beggars? Now, Francis said something about religion. And this is where people will not understand every time I say, I don't believe in the literature written by the women that they call the Bible. I used to believe in it. I was a very strong Christian. But then I found out that Jesus Christ was not a Christian. Jesus Christ never built no church. He did not write no book. So the people who brought that book to you, and if white men knew that this book, if you believe in it, you'll go to heaven, they will never even show it to you. That the people who sold you as slaves, the people who skin you alive, the people who put dog on you to eat you, the people who throw you overboard in a ship for you to die, and the fish to feed on you, will bring some kind of boat to you and tell you, say, believe in it. Then you go to one golden city. The people get their own country right here. We can see each other. We can talk. They can understand us. For you to come to that country, they make it impossible for you to come to that country. Then they will come and tell you, say, just believe the boat, you'll go to some kind of place called heaven. And the women have gone above the earth. They didn't see nowhere called heaven. So that only Africa will believe in God in heaven. There is nowhere like heaven. So the women knows that it's false. But they brought this book to us to convince us, to confuse us. And so in Africa, go there. We got more churches in Africa than schools, than hospitals. But yet, Africa is the poorest. In China, the Chinese people don't pray. China is developed. So how come? So they go here and let people that can pray to him. But they brought the religion to soften our mind, like Francis said. And they put enough fear fighters in it that if you don't do this, you'll go to some kind of place called hell. So then our African people, they standing in the church 24-hour praying to die so they can go to one heaven that nobody has been invited. Why the women who brought the heaven idea to them is building his country. They're making all the technology. Why they can't keep it and carry to heaven? Or they're making it and then you believe in it. So they soften our minds about that. And then we pay more attention to church than ourselves, than building our country, improving ourselves.
Yeah, let me just quickly add the way Jesse into with religion. Look, I go to church, I believe in God. Look, but sometimes it gets very confusing. Look, in Sweden, when religion has a serious correlation with poverty. Most people ascribe to religious principle on a daily basis when they are poor. Sweden, when we pray in Africa, got churches here. Every square corner around the world, there's a church there, but it's empty. People are not praying, they're using their innovative minds. Go again, this, whatever it is, they're using it to improve their lives. Our system of living in Africa is not bad, but it made us to think that it's bad. So we have all the brains. If you use a smart man, they take it from Africa, they bring it to the country to live there, to work. So just to add on to what you're saying, Adok, there are churches, there's so many churches. Look, where I live, around me, I got 3 different churches. And some of the buildings are old residents, they turn them, or churches, they turn them to residents now. Because nobody go there, people go there for only baptism, wedding, and funeral. That's it. Yeah.
And you guys sell it all. So there is a video that been trading lately on social media. Everyone regarding this situation, but to end with Tuareg, on the 30th, there is a mass protest across the globe. Black Americans taking the charge. They asking all Black people in any Western country to go to the American embassy and French embassy to put halt to their nonsense that they're doing with the young men, because enough is enough. So before we move to Mama Liberia, there is advice from Malcolm X. I just want to play this and then we can talk about it, and then we'll transition to our local politics. Let me see if I can get this quickly.
There will come a time when Black people wake up and become intellectually independent enough to think for themselves, as other humans are intellectually independent enough to think for themselves. Then the Black man will think like a Black man, and he will feel for other Black people. And this new thinking and feeling will cause Black people to stick together. And then at that point, you'll have a situation where when you attack one Black man, you are attacking all Black men. And this type of Black thinking will cause all Black people to stick together. And this type of thinking also will bring an end to the brutality inflicted upon Black people by white people. And it is the only thing that will bring an end to it. No federal court, state court, or city court will bring an end to it. It's something that the Black man has to bring an end to himself.
So, something a Black man will have to bring upon himself for people to start thinking that Blackness. Now we see a revolution here across. Africans have suffered a lot. There are a lot of Black people that, so guys, is this the time? The Generation Z, is this the time? Are they now the generation to take charge of their destiny? Like what this young boy, when I graduated from high school before the young man was born. What he doing now? Is it about time that other young people follow his star and start going all across the continent and getting rid of those old puppet government that we have and start thinking like a Black man that look, today the people are developing nuclear weapon, but they need your iron ore. You get it. Then you're back up. You talk to me, guys. I don't see how this is going.
You want me to go?
Yeah, go, Elimfo, go.
Okay. I'll look at 2 things. And sorry for small background noise here. I'll look at 2 things. The first thing is that with a quote from Ibrahim Traore, also quoting Thomas Sankara. It says, a slave that will not take responsibility and charge for his action to free himself will not get sympathy from any other person. That was a quote from Thomas Sankara, and Ibrahim Traore quoted him. I'm just paraphrasing it. Now, the very people who suppressed us, if you look at Europe here, America, their history is replete with stories about war, conquest. That's how he got Alexander the Great. The most recent one was supposed to be Bonnie, Hitler, and all the other guys. If you go to all European cities, you will see one guy sitting over the horse with sword in his hand or standing on a huge statue.
You have Putin, you have Netanyahu now, so they are all.
So their history is replete with murdering people, with killing, with genocide, and all these things happen right here in the Balkan. Okay, so Africa, if you listen to what Malcolm X said, Africa, by way of information, a lot of people might not have read his history. His name was actually Malcolm Little, L-R-T-T-L-E, Malcolm Little. His father was the Reverend L. Little. But when Malcolm X grew up, he found out that was a slave name, so he changed his name to X. X means nothing, Malcolm X. But he was originally Malcolm Little. So Malcolm X, the statement he made, if you look at it, he said, Black people will have to be conscientized. They have to learn. They have to understand what's happening to them. And they are the only people who can fight for themselves. These people, today, if you come to Europe, you see they all a small country, they want that they want. They all fought for that independence. No, they didn't go to Asia to go call the Asian to come fight for them. They didn't go to Africa to call Africans to say, you can go fight for us who get independent. Okay? They fought for themselves. They fought. So it would take something like a black to liberate black. It will take something like a black. The white man will suppress you so it can remain under him. So we need the black people all over the world. If you live in anywhere in the world, stand up as a black man, support the black effort. That's the only way you'll be liberated, because being black alone in a white man's country is a sin. Just your skin alone makes you a sinner. What will white man? Sorry,
you're African too. Make it. Now you're just a black. You're a black man from Africa.
My brother, whether you're from Africa, no, you can be a black man born in a white man country. They still call you black.
Yeah.
That's the name they get for you, black. So, and the mistake some people maybe because they were born here, so they think they're part of these people. No, you are black, you are black, you are white, you are white. Simple. The thing is simple. Why would you want to eat prayer with sin? You see, do not eat prayer with sin. Black is black, white is white. That's it. It's fixed in their mind. Nobody can teach them. They are born with it. And that's why they struggle with it. Because some of them really do not believe in it, but it's just part of them. And so, like Malcolm X said, it's going to take only black to change our condition. And how do we do that? By standing together, by holding together, by knowing what is happening to us first, identifying the problem that we have, and then fighting to resolve that problem. It's just like if you're sick, you don't know what's happening to you. You cannot diagnose what's happening to you. You can't make a medicine. Our medicine will only come from ourselves if we diagnose exactly what's happening to us. Yeah.
Look, the problem I see is fundamentally resting on ourselves as black people. What we need to do as a collective, first of all, we need to be self-sufficient in all aspects, economically, politically, and I would say agriculturally. Because look, we can denounce all the rules, all the clocks that the white man has on Africa, the black people. But once we do not emancipate ourselves politically, economically, agriculturally, the white man will still dominate us, because our leaders they are not far-sighted. They lack innovation. Across Africa, it is all about themselves and their cronies. So the white man comes there he exploits those cracks, and then we fought for it. Because our leaders are the ones who represent us, and they are being liked it. So they create all the avenue for the white people. Chinese are coming to our continent now. They're taking over. Tell me one reason why. Why China has, or Chinese, they have the guts to come to Africa now, because China as a country is doing a lot of things in Africa. So I guess the Chinese people, the premier, and a lot of people say, "Y'all go there." They depend on us. They can't send you back. Because we're building free roads. We're building the African Union headquarters. So, I mean, we need to do this.
When you talk about the Chinese, I think let's make it a little bit interactive. When you talk about the Chinese,
I can give an example now.
Yeah, I agree. I can look at it.
Not coming. The French not coming like that. The Chinese are coming more in.
I can look at it like this: the lesser of two evils. The lesser of two evils. If I give you knife,
I mean, what you talking about? You talking about race? You talking about Caucasian white people? They are white people. The white versus black.
Let me learn. You deep on what I want to say. I will choose the lesser of two evils, right? Now, you've been living with these Americans, with these Westerners, Western countries for years. They colonize you. But you cannot show anything that they got. How long has the Chinese been? Let me just give you a short history. In the 1960s, 61.
I was there for you because the West get on democracy. That what we talking here now.
What is democracy?
Live for.
This is the brainwash.
Live for.
Yeah.
Live for.
But let me just
40 years ago.
I told you guys I will take a lesson of two evils. Let me just finish. I'll sit down quietly and you guys will talk. America, who say they free black slaves there and brought them to our country? What did they do? You just brought it, put them down. We gotta go back. We gotta go stand literally to the American embassy to beg before they give our hand out. We should be America in Africa if they love us. France, they colonized all the countries. France alone got more than almost 15, 20 countries in Africa that they colonized. Okay, the Belgium, all the people, and everywhere they colonize, they get problem. They control your economy. The Chinese come in. How many Chinese people tell you say can't bring your gold reserve to China? How many Chinese people tell you say learn our language? How many Chinese people tell you say, you gotta live the way we want you to live? No, the Chinese people, look, China in the early 1960s, 61, China had a population of about 45 million people. And I mean, about 45 million Chinese died from hunger. They had great famine. They died for about 45 million. If you do the math, Liberia is 5.7 million. That was 45. That about 9 times Liberia population. People die from hunger. Where is China today? China producing everything. They're producing food and feeding the world. Okay. Then what happened to Liberia? If you talk about the 60s, Liberia was booming those days. Why? They don't talk about war because China too, they have that no problem.
We spoke. We said we spoke our leaders.
Africa is China.
Our leaders, Linfo. They probably rest so on our leaders.
President, let me come in. Linfo, China is a superpower. You like it or not, it's the fact.
I agree.
When a superpower is coming to you, they're not just coming and say, oh, because they're beating this. The position China was in 50 years ago, China was also being colonized by another group. You had Japan over there. You had the British people interfering. Vietnam, Singapore, all of those countries, they had these European people that colonized them. But why is it that all of them left Africa behind? When Liberia had an open door policy, who went to Liberia to learn from Liberia? It's not a people from Singapore, Malaysia, all of these people. Why is it that we so greedy? They look at Asian country. If the issue here is if African leaders can take cue from even South Korea that was very poor a few years back. We refuse to do it. So when a superpower coming in, he's not just coming in say the lesser of two evil. The superpower coming for what he think he can put his hand on. And that's what the Chinese, the Russians
agree.
are all going.
I'm not denying
So
it. That's,
why
if
is
you
it
listen
this
to me, if you listen to me, I said it. The Chinese are coming. There's one of our viewers, a great fan, wrote there. They are business people. They're coming to get the. So okay, let's look at it now. Look at your AU, your African Union headquarters. Who built it? Chinese built it free of charge. You're not paying anything. What's it? America and the West. You go to them. They get something called IMF. When they give $100, they say you pay $500. You agree to it, and you will pay. Okay, and they will send an expert via like $100 to give you. China can do the whole headquarters for you free.
There's nothing free in the world. There's nothing free in the world.
There is no paper. There is no paper sign.
There's nothing free in the world.
There is no paper sign with the Chinese government that African countries will pay the AU building. No country, nobody has no document.
Gentlemen, we will talk. There's nothing free in the world.
We can talk about it. We can at the next show. Listen, at the next podcast.
Look at it the other way. This is the scene. This is the scene you talking. This is the scene.
On the next podcast on Friday, we will take the first 30 minutes or 1 hour we will delve into the China policy towards Africa as compared to the West America and you know the other Western
so which countries. One do you prefer?
I prefer the Western. They gave you the money. They attach conditions. Yeah, our greedy leaders.
I would say.
I would say in 2 minutes. Our greedy leaders say they don't want to do anything with the money. They take it. They eat it. China say, okay, I give you the money. I don't give you the money. I will build it myself. Now what the Chinese, what they do.
And why are you giving that in return?
The black saying, all the Chinese people come here, the Chinese people, they're stupid. They give free money.
Oh, they just taking the black saying and carrying it. They pay for it. They pay. No, you see, you gotta look at this thing critically.
So, are you seriously trying to tell everybody that
it's just like a woman?
Let me ask you a question before you start that. Are you seriously telling us that China does not have anything, does not take anything from what it gives in return? It just says, I got money to waste your ticket. I'll pay your schools. I'll pay your African Nation headquarters.
I agree. But it's just like a woman in a bad relationship, right? The husband can pee her. The husband, before she cook, the husband got to give her money. Treat her all kind of way. Then somebody come and say, I can help you. Okay? The conditions that your husband would lay down before he gave you money, I will not do it. I will help you. You want clothes, I'll buy it, this and that. Then you say, oh no, me, I let my husband can pity me before you give me money. This is African.
No, that analogy will now go with that.
That's it. You say the IMF, the West will give you money, they put condition on it, but
morality, you're talking about moral issues compared to political and financial issues.
But somebody can show me documents where African countries have committed to China and say, okay, would the Chinese make
you expect you and I to give you that document? We're not in we're not in the corridors of power to go and bring the document.
Gentlemen. We're going to have show next week on the Bentaki want to take part on this so we can have a proper conversation on this. He just said, and please, somebody want to call in? Let me see what's this.
Please leave us out.
No, but I think you're right. Oh, great. Yeah. I mean, he has in topic. He's. I mean, it's good to interact with him. I mean, yes. So say that once
before we transition, The Chinese want to have bases all over Africa because when you're a superpower, you want to spread your wing all over. To our greedy hunters, leaders that we have in Africa, the Chinese men say, I pay your headquarters free. But behind the scene, the greedy leaders we got, the Chinese put them in the pocket as usual. And then the poor people suffer. Then they say, oh, the Chinese doing this free. The Chinese not doing it free. The Chinese is taking what they can take. Some of the countries now they'll be adapted to China. So let's have a proper program next week. Bring my take it in, and then we can follow the discussion. But what am I saying? The generation that Abraham Captain Traore is for in, that generation now have this thing what we call the social media, that in any part of the globe, a young child sit and follow what is happening. I'm thinking now from what Malcolm X said, these young people now are seeing lodges. We have our forefathers, they were very greedy, but if we continue that path, we'll still be the same. Let's do something. 3 countries came together in the Sahara region. Can we find another country joining them? Because that become the Pan-African nation that our forefathers talked about. The more you have these people coming together, that the useless ECOWAS we got to demolish ECOWAS, let people stand for themselves. It's about the time that we do it. Look at Liberia.
ECOWAS is not useless, man. ECOWAS is not useless.
80-year-old man who came. They're very useless. You got an 80-year-old man who came to power in Liberia.
I don't put a lockdown for you to the useless.
I'm saying that they are useless because we know what they are, what they're doing. My country, Liberia, an 80-year-old man take office. A young man in Burkina Faso refused to ride presidential car. In my own country, let me see if I can pull this out. Maybe our people can help us here. Buying $1 million bulletproof car for an 80-year-old man. Now we don't have schools. Talk to me, Linford.
80-year-old man can die. 80-year-old man go there on the train trying to kill you.
Who gonna kill 80-year-old man?
I mean, you do not know.
Paul, you see, I should talk to you, right?
You cannot assume that.
Talk to me.
You can't
okay,
assume.
Look on the screen. What do you see there? You see your ECOWAS chairman in the wake of accusation from one West African country that France, in fact, is not even accusation. Seeing vividly clear that France is trying to get rid of this young man. Who do you see that? Tinubu, who is the chairman of ECOWAS? Where is he? Just a few days ago, he was in France taking picture of Macron. What does that tell you about the people, the mass of the people?
But I'm not president, bro.
There you go. Look, you see.
Let me add on what Linford, hold on. Hold on. Yeah. The former Ghanaian president who just left, isn't now the same president that went to the U.S. Secretary of State to report Burkina Faso? You remember? When I said ECOWAS is useless.
Yeah, but this is
the former Ghanaian president who they gave. Yes. He went to report this young man to the U.S. State.
I saw this
man is.
I saw that video.
All right. That's what.
So, you see, I made a post that at least everybody knows the enemy of progress in Africa and ECOWAS and AU must get off their butts. That's exactly what I use to stand with Burkina Faso. You see, this old man, these are the people with the colonial minds. This is a product of the colonialism. So it does not think. So the question you ask, whether the young people around the black youths, the action of or the leadership example of Traore will send a shockwave down the spines of young people. Yes, I think that was should. If a little man, all West African countries, let's start from West Africa, they should have military coups and move all the old people because they all think the same way. Remove all of that, and trust me, no, I'm not praying for this, but it just You know, you gotta be brave. You gotta talk. You gotta talk like a man. You gotta be a man or a monkey. You gotta talk. West Africa needs clearing. I mean, real when you talk about governmental clearing, clear those bitches out because they're not helping the country. Then after you finish clearing West Africa, because the whole thing is starting from West Africa, right? When you finish clearing then you move on to the other parts of Africa. Because see what they're doing. Former Ghanaian president going to the UN to go report his neighbor because Burkina Faso share neighbor with them. There are a lot of Ghanaians in Burkina. There are a lot of Burkinabes in Ghana. Then you go report to the White House when you should be having your AU, your African Union, your ECOWAS to be able to resolve issues. Yeah? Can you imagine that? So you got all the old guys who came from the colonial period, who got colonial mindset in the parts of corridor in Africa, nothing will change.
Yeah. Yeah. I see the baby part is struggling over there. So by the way, that's Flo, if the baby can give you just
Oh man, and that transition to Liberia, I'll be leaving soon.
Look, I'm trying to get this thing off, but it's my man. To our viewers, I think to conclude on Burkina Faso, to my belief is the young people now should start looking the direction of that young man, and they should start, even if not cool, but they should engage in politics and start taking key role. Like you had a young man winning in Senegal. The young people they are more than the old generation. They should be the one now putting their group together to take over the continent. They should forget about the old cronies crooks because they no good to them. That we will go in.
You tell me our generation of Senegalese president saw a new car, you saw a car he ride.
He ride new car, but the thing that he doing is much better than our old man.
We're not solely looking at the cars that they ride. We're looking at the policies that they will make. The man can ride airplanes. Even the president of my country can ride airplane, but let the citizens have good life. Simple. But and Paul, you just mentioned something that the young people should take over. Me, I'm not ruling out any possibility, whether through military coup or election, but let the young people come to power. Remove all the old guys. I mean, look at Tinubu, who are lived all his life.
Hey, how Joe, we are a young president.
Eh?
Hey, how Joe, we are a young president.
We're talking about serious money, not the useless one. I'll be honest, serious money people. You see, people that have that look. If you go to serve the people, it's not about your pocket. John Weir is useless. The man, the first thing he came in, he started bidding on the media. It's not that kind of person we're talking about. Look at this young man who refused to buy clothes. He just wear military clothes that from one end to another end. He's not going to change. He's not flamboyant. And he wants his country to do better.
Well, I can tell you,
that's the kind of person I'm talking
about. If we follow how the Arab Spring started, or in Tunisia, or which country started from Tunisia? Eh? Yeah. The how it started, one man.
It started from Tunisia, yeah.
Yeah, revolution can start with one man. They think what Abraham, no, a lot of people sitting back to see what will happen. People just waiting. I mean, tell me, man, even the great Malcolm, or the great Sankara, all the people, how many people around the world were rooting for them, were roosting for them? But you see this guy, I watched a video from Barbados, the people in Barbados. Then I watched several videos all over the place. Everywhere where black people are, they are standing with this guy. Even in America, the white people, they are standing with this guy. So everybody just waiting to see what will happen. And sooner or later, we'll be talking different story. Give yourself 2-3 months. Somebody, the old crooks that are passing in the powers of corridor in Africa, they will be wiped out pretty soon. And you'll see what will happen. It's just that, people still waiting to see what will happen, what France will do, what America will do. But it has exposed. Their plan is exposed. They can't do anything now. And look, Let me tell you, like in the 1930s, the 1940s, every little move anybody make now, the picture will come. Who knew that Tinubu was in Paris to meet Macron? Anywhere they go now, people will take picture. That picture will leak. And any move they make.
But Linfo, I don't get it. I mean, there's a bilateral relationship. So because you vehemently oppose old people people in the presidency, so they should not function.
My brother,
as
I'm now a
president.
diplomat. And when it comes to African unity, I'm now a diplomat.
They should not function as presidents. The people have the obligation. They have to go out and meet their counterparts. I mean,
let me tell you, your enemy. If you see your friend,
so guys,
your enemy, while your enemy are at war, you should be concerned. That's African parable.
No, but Linfo, let me help you here. It was Tinubu when this young man overthrew I think it was Mali. They were going to bomb Mali at some point. When the three countries said now we'll fight ECOWAS and then back down, they meant to fight. It was the same Tinubu. So it's no surprise that the puppet leaders in Africa, they are no good. That was say the young people, it should go across. Like what the three countries are showing, I think that other useless guy in Guinea was one of them. He was going to be part of that group, but he was brought in by some U.S. general that gave him some arm to overthrow people. So so let's move on to Liberia before we leave from here, and we'll have a quick commercial break. Then we can talk about the impasse in the legislature that going nowhere on serious money people. Other countries moving ahead, we still going backward. Let's take a quick commercial break, and then we'll come to Richard Kuhn, Fonati Kofa, Joseph Newman Barker, and the country, and then we'll close out today.
Di Lorenzo, G Grace. Hems vocal, Liberia number one vocal, Liberia number one, right? Okay.
The phrase, a new sheriff is in town, does not only belong to law enforcement. How about the introduction of Liberia's premier vodka, a quality and customized liquor for all occasions? Try the flavor of your choice. Hans Vodka, Hans Honey, Hans Bitter, and Hans Original Vodka. Hans Vodka has no hangover. That's why they say Papa drank Mama happy. Hans Vodka is sold in all stores, shops, supermarkets, and entertainment centers in Liberia. For wholesale, contact Hans Vodka at 0777 001114, 0777 000-979. We can also be reached via social media on Facebook and IG at Hans Vodka or www.hansvodka.com. In the United States, please contact Hans North America Incorporated at 610-543-9289, 484-888-1622, 484-755-8411. Hans Vodka is approved by the U.S. federal government. Hans Vodka brings out the real man in you.
I tell you in my core, in my blood. Every time when I stay on the block, everybody knows it. We husband. And forgot that number one. Oh, from Liberia all around. In supermarket store and everywhere. And forgot that number one. Oh.
Welcome to the bottom line. For those of you that are following, drop your comments. We're enjoying the conversation. We're going to transition, guys. What happened to Liberia? Why is it these greedy hunters that in the legislature dragging our country like this? Why is it that they cannot get the thing sorted? Supreme Court came with a ruling. The other people, they disrespected the ruling. Then the next day, they became the Nicodemus. They went back to the Supreme Court for re-argument. Where is Liberia heading? What's going on? Gentlemen, our audience, you please talk to us. Is Liberia a serious country? Other countries just next door to us, Sierra Leone and others, they're moving. But our people fighting over nonsense. Guys, this is the show. We're going to close the show on the Rachel Kuhn, the fanatic Copa, the crossing over, not crossing over. What happened to the country, nobody knows. Supreme Court team were ruling. Rachel Kuhn and his team wrote say they reject that ruling. Then later on, they went back and submitted re-argument. Where's this? Where are we heading?
Look, the first thing first. Look, the first thing first is that look, if the so-called majority blockhead about Rachel Kuhn, if they did not or they do not adhere to the ruling of the court, it did not if the court decisions are irrelevant to them, why they go back to the same court? So they only be pleased, they only accept the court's ruling when the court rule in their favor. Look, the Supreme Court should be the opinion of the Supreme Court should be respected. You know, I support this government 110%, but I think the right thing to do is to uphold the ruling of the Supreme Court, not to bring the Supreme Court into public disrepute. Although I think the Supreme Court's ruling was a populist movement or ruling, but hey, that's what they are there for. So I think I want to urge the government to respect the verdict of the Supreme Court. It does not show, any as good example, so to speak, literally in a low man's term, that they will come out ready to reject the Supreme Court's opinion or their decision. So there have been a lot of thing around it.
Francis, I want you to add on this one here. The Supreme Court ruling, the president accepted, and he said he worked with the quorum. The quorum is the majority block, which the Supreme Court recognized that they are not the speaker. The speaker don't have the majority, but then the speaker is there. But the president said he worked with the quorum, and in the quorum is the one that the majority block have. So the president also disregarding the Supreme Court ruling. What's going on?
Well, I think the president, made ill advised, but again, he cannot do much. I mean, he's the president of the country, though. But again, we all cry on the three branches of government, coordinates, separate bodies of government. The Supreme Court can rule, but I hope that the people, the guys, our honorable legislators, will see the reason. They have their own function, they got their own way of doing things. I would be glad if they would honor the Supreme Court's decision, and go into the chambers and what do you call it, impeach, or what do you call it, COFA, or I don't know the legal legislative term for it, and have him removed as speaker. The president's he said he will quorum, so we'll see if the minority has a quorum. When I think about can call for quorum, you never know. It's politics. But when they come back next week or week after next, when they break.
No, but Forati does not have the quorum. The president said he will continue. Because that was the language used. He will continue working with the quorum. They count the country.
It cannot be definitive here that Fanati, by the time they come back from the break, he might be able to pull people. It may go any other way.
No, but no. The English language the president
cannot work
used.
with Fanati if he doesn't have the quorum.
So who is he working with? The one that not a speaker, because the Constitution clearly said that you must elect a speaker, and the speaker become a presiding officer. And the Supreme Court said Rachel Cohn is not a speaker, but they get quorum. So how can you work with someone who is not a presiding officer? So what's going on?
There have been pundits around who have had their own view about it, and we all see it as look, this whole crisis may not go anywhere because the legislators themselves say they have their own rules, and Fanatic Kofa was removed from the position of speaker through their own legislative procedure. And that's one aspect of it. And the Supreme Court said, no, hey, we try to impose conformity on you guys. And so, look, we can talk as much as we have our own views as necessary, yeah. But it's going to drag on.
So let me bring Lifa on here, because Lifa, I think France want to make the thing look more diplomatic in a way, because the ruling is clear. Fonati is a speaker, but he does not have quorum to carry on his function. The illegal speaker have the quorum, but he's not a speaker. So go back and do the right thing, and they quoted two articles, 33 and 49. The right thing is get the number, remove him, do the proper thing, and move on. They refuse to do it. Then they go back to the Supreme Court that they rejected to say, oh, we want re-argument. Is it about buying time, delaying people, schools now getting funding? What the hell is going on with Liberia? Is Liberia a serious country, Linford? This is what I'm saying. The reason why we talk about Abraham Traore is just Liberia is the complete opposite to another country. Talk to me, because I'm getting confused with the Liberian thing.
You know, and I would say this with all due respect to all the old people. My father was old when he died. Myself, I'm old. I'm getting older. But I think there are certain times in life that, you know, changes got to take place. Like I say again, I will go back. All of the old people in power, in the corridors of power in Africa, West Africa, wherever in Africa, they should be booted up by any means possible, peacefully, violently, any kind of way. No, let me tell you, we will not sit down here.
Are you encouraging sedition, insurgency in the countries across West Africa?
No, I'm not. But I'm saying
you are. You said just blatantly say that.
I said they shoot. Yeah, shoot.
Yeah,
I said shoot. You know what? Are you seeing? I'm
shoot. I mean, it has to be done. I mean, why are you encouraging undemocratic?
Why are you afraid? Why are you afraid if they are doing the right thing? Why are you afraid?
I'm not afraid. If
the leaders are useless, then what?
Yeah. Why are you taking your case? I'm saying they shoot. I'm not saying they must. I say they shoot. They can decide to do it or not, but they shoot. But let me come back to my point, because these people got trite idea, old idea, worn up idea. It's just like you got someone worn or tire on your car. It's worn or it's not useful anymore. It can lead you to more disaster, and that's what happening in our own country, like Europe. This thing happened. People, that nonsense people talk about 3 branches of government. It's old idea. 3 branches of government, they all function together. In one collapse, okay, send the other branches of government, not important. Close down the judiciary. Let's see whether the legislature and the executive will function through or without the judiciary. Or close down one of the other 2. They all work together. So when you say, oh, you know, that separation of power, this and that, no, my friend, you get 2 hands. God knows why I gave you 2 hands. If one hand cut, you know that you are short. They function together. So the Supreme Court takes a decision, and you, the president, and Paul, you ask, why is this thing dragging on? It's dragging on because from the onset, the president, the executive, has developed interest in one party, one of the parties. The president, the last time I said this on the show here, the president is the first and the last person in the country to speak. If the president had brought this thing under control from the start and say, okay, your guy, your own, I'm the executive, right? Or the judiciary is there, we don't want to meddle into your case. But in the house, as president, as error of the in the room, the error in the room here, I am calling you people in the house. You okay, your own rules, right? Yeah, okay. You're bringing a rule here, you can say that right under my eye and apply it, and let's see whether it will work. The president had the power to do that from the start, but instead he took one side where we saw money changing here. People left, lawmakers left their capital, they went to the hotel for complete 2 months. They were there. Who were paying the money? Government. So it has reached a point where all the money they spend, they cannot get it back, and things are going wrong, and they still want to hold on to power. Okay? Now, so the reason why this thing is dragging on because the president took side. Okay? Even though they say that 3 branches of government, the other one has to meddle. Why was the president dishing out, or the executive dishing out money to the lawmakers to be able to amass the number of names they need to impeach Kun? This thing, to impeach Kofa. If Kun claims that he got a majority, how many numbers they need? 49. For more than 7 months, they can't get 49. For more than 7 months, even if you are creating human being, by that time you would have completed creating 1 or 2 persons. For more than 7 months, so they got no quorum, they got no majority. It's just the noise they're making. And I said it the last time, it's because of the attractive salaries that they got and its attractive benefits they get in that house is why all these things dragging on. If you're paying no bogus, something like 2,500 dollars per month, they will not be doing all the nonsense. They're taking tests to go to work, they will not be doing some of them go make business. Okay? But because of the attractive salary, so they want to hold the country hostage. Now, I will show you one picture before Paul continues. See here. This is the door leading to the chambers. According to information, and this is by credit of Front Page Africa, this is Iron Gate that Richard Kun has just put there right after the Supreme Court in the recent case. Can you imagine? Where in the world does this kind of thing work? Even the home of democracy, which is America, we have not seen this kind of thing before. But the people are playing with us. And simply because we Liberians, we don't move, we don't do anything. When you talk, people will think that.
So the man he put iron gate that nobody can enter the office.
Yeah, he the only person get a key.
So he's not the speaker, and now he put iron gate to the speaker. So you see, so when Linfa said these old people should be removed, friends said, I tend to agree with Linfa because
they should remove the people.
These are complete.
And friends, you asking what I'm proposing violent means. No. The thing is, if you walk to the old guy and say move peacefully, say please, we'll move one, bring you, they'll say no. So in order to move in, you got to sweep in from there with broom. So because they're not willing to walk down because of what they have done. Look at some of the old guys in Africa, the way they have handled the affairs of government. They clamp down on the people, they are corrupt, so if you tell them move peacefully, look at Bobby Wine. They say Uganda, Bobby Wine. This
Uganda. Yeah, Uganda.
The begin one election, Museveni clearly took the election away from the boy, and he's going for 6 terms. Can you imagine? Oh man, like that you were there when some of the children were not born. When Bobby Wine said were not born. You see, so that kind of man, what you expect?
It's a different case.
There you go. No, we can't be on the platform. Be talking on 2 sides of our mouth. No, if you look at if it's right, it's right. It's wrong, it's wrong. And
I'm telling you, I'm speaking specifically. I'm speaking. You talking. You deviated. You went to Museveni. Museveni is a dictator. Joseph Boga is not a dictator.
Yeah, but they are all in they are all
but he's not a dictator.
Nigerian president is not a dictator.
Wait, guys. Francis, absolutely, he's not a dictator, but he's violating the rules of the land. And this is not a dictator, but he just ignored the Supreme Court. Say, I will continue working with a majority.
But you talking about Indonesian Supreme Court, when he was vice president, their own law, when they made but tenure position, the making broke everything. So what is a dictator?
So,
because a dictator is a man who stay there long? No. Stay in power for long does not mean you are a dictator. But when you do wrong thing, when you break all the laws, you overlook everything, you take a power onto yourself. That's dictatorial.
Now, the reason why I asked that question, where is Liberia heading? The president he keep violating the Constitution. Because he keep violating the Constitution, is that why he bought himself $1 million bulletproof car? Is that why? I just been curious.
No,
because if you do the right thing, even you write text, nobody coming after you.
Francis said, "Oh man can die." The man was old.
Everybody will die.
Yeah, hold on. The man was not young when you were running campaign. He used to walk all in the people water all around the place. You were not young. So when he became president, he begin people. No, you know. Let me tell you. People maybe will get a definition that dictators are people who stay long in power. No, dictators are people who bend the law to suit themselves and suppress the rest of the people. They take power onto themselves. They feel that they are the power. Nobody else is power unless them, except them, because they are in power. That's what we're talking about. That's dictatorial. You dictate what happens. You dictate. You pull a law aside and you dictate what happens. This is a man who was recently sitting on social media and saying, even if it caused me to ride wheelbarrow, I'll ride to go to work. Where did he end up buying bulletproof jeep? Who have, since he became president almost 1.5 years now, who have made any attempt on him? Like Abraham Traore, who have made any attempt on the old man? The last time I said it, that guy stand by his shout your feet. Yeah, the man who went and delivered his inaugural speech. He do tell him he alone. You almost went off. So okay, maybe he'll buy heat proof. I don't know whether he'll buy heat proof.
Okay, guys, I have to leave now. 11 o'clock here.
Don't go stay here.
No, I gotta go sleep, bro.
So, but okay, let me answer the last question. The man buy heat
proof car.
You buy heat proof car.
Make air condition.
So when you get outside now, you get heat proof. No, you know, our African leader, they can be the cause of people. They can
guys,
be the cause of
I think it was a good show here today. I don't know where Liberia is heading, but it's not, the other countries are moving forward. The other countries are moving forward. I don't know where we are heading. This is wrong. Something is not right with Liberia. So, Linford, I tend to agree with you. The young people need to get involved instead of fighting these old people. They need to step up. Look, in Liberia, the young people are more than the older people. So why is it that they can't put somebody up front and say, look, we're going to change the thing here? Then it'll be beyond the old people.
In my own country, Liberia, I will not encourage violence. I will not encourage violent removal. But I mean, people, look at what's happening.
Yeah, get in the process.
Time to vote. We got 3 more years to go to the parliament. We got 3.5 more years. You can do it peacefully. So you got to hear anybody saying on you. Just go and cast that ballot. We don't want one old guy who is more than 30, 40 years, 40 years, 50 years old, who have been government for 75 years. Move them. Because they know your weak point. They know how to steal your money. Bring somebody who is industrious, somebody who is thinking like you young people. You can't stay in front of Joseph Boakai and then keep the same conversation. No, he got different thinking. All of y'all that are walking in water.
Before Francis leave, Francis mentioned something about we had a young man called George Weah. George Weah is a buka dancer. We brought an old man who is a storyteller. You see the difference? We got a storyteller and we got a buka dancer. Where they here Liberia keep getting these people from? The old man will tell you all the story in the world. The other man bring you
2 days.
Yes. So, guys,
great show. Tell the story about a good man. Well, I don't know so they go to the full man.
He's a good storyteller, and this is Liberia, and that's Liberian problem. So then again, what made matter worse with Liberia, you get one of the best corny criminal, more than Nigerians, that tell them who to vote for. Could you imagine? So you see the country not balanced. So one piggy made of music in Liberia called the Zombie. And like we are zombies in Liberia. We don't think straight. A storyteller, a buka dancer, and then you get a notorious criminal who tell you what to do. Where are we heading? This is Liberia.
Who the notorious criminal? Yeke Koluba?
Stanton Waterspoon. The guy who called the United States of America. He used his platform to tell people what to do. Up to today, he keep telling people say they are corrupt. But this guy get court case that he stole from the Nigerians. Say if this guy can call America, who else he can call? Tell me about it.
So why blaming the poor voters in Liberia? The men, they play United States, where they got everything. The men said that he took all of them. So Liberia, what? Now, but you know what happened?
That's what I'm saying. So, that's a situation we face with.
Yeah, but you see, Pape too have been in government for years, and Pape know how to sell the sick go to the full man. The Pape know how to sell the sick go to the full man.
It's 9 o'clock in the UK, so Paul got more time here.
No, it's 10 o'clock here, my brother.
It's 10 o'clock. So the Pape found the guy too, and they were hitting the guy.
So to conclude, Liberia problem is not a small problem. We had a buka dancer, now we get a storyteller. The next person we'll get again, it could be something similar, some kind of new way. So we don't know. We just pray. That's what I'm saying for the young people that are coming up. I think it's about time to take charge of their country. Because with the older generation, we're not going to do. If I never wore $800 shoe, you go give me power. I start wearing $800 shoes. So the young people already they're struggling. They should come and continue the struggle that what Tuareg is doing.
Yeah, the next person we talking about left star.
You get what?
See, the next one we talking about left star.
Oh yeah, but at least but before we go for let's recognize a few new people that came here today. We got like Amadou Kone. Yeah. And then we got one say you, one Nathan say you. I don't know what he say about whoever appeared for the first time today and we didn't recognize you. Sorry, it's because I cannot speak.
Great one.
Great one. It's from your country, so
from Sweden.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. And am I a pseudonym? It's a pseudonym or what?
No, I don't know. I'm not in a position to say that. But
okay.
Yeah. But I want to welcome everybody that was with us today. This is the Bottomland Library, and this is what we do here. We discuss the issue the hard way. Sometimes we come down hard, and sometimes we are soft. Tonight, I decided to be hard on all the African leaders, and the reason is simple. No, this thing what the boss started in Burkina Faso, we should not all look at. Other people have struggled in their life. Africa has lost great men trying to do the same thing here. So what is difficult about it? Look at the West in the face and say, no, listen, we can make it. Not try on, amen. And Liberian people will glue on with this thing, Paul, where you see 45-year-old man still living in my house. The man got to go before he eat. So the same kind of mentality is all over Africa. Because the people colonize you, so you think you depend on them. They can't say all your gold reserve, your diamond, your everything, put it in our country. Then we will now give you money, you agree. Yeah? Why we can't? Let's think Africa. Let's reverse it. Not try. If we can make it, we'll go back to them. There's another video where Macron will look at African and say they're supposed to be thankful to us. Can you imagine? This is a country, a man whose country is living on our wealth, and then he's saying we should be thankful to them. You see the kind of nonsense. You see, simply because the way we saw ourselves to them. You taking all of our resources and you say we should be thankful to you, as if to say you giving us something. Yeah, you say the money that is stealing from us and turning around giving us peanuts, we should be thankful to you. This is nonsense. But because we're not standing up, and one African man stand up, then the rest of African leaders against him, they go under the darkness under the cover of darkness to go meet Macron, to go meet America and all these things. You betraying your country, your continent. Okay? for little or nothing.
You know, Linford, I mean, you're right. I think the young people should rise up because it's just unfair on them.
By any means
I've
possible.
traveled to Nigeria. If you see the young people in Nigeria, then you get all Tinubu. Then you come to Liberia, that you get 65% of the population young. Then you get all crook or storyteller. Where are we heading? Look, there's young Burkina Power. The first thing he did in Burkina Faso, look at this. He hired your agriculture tractor. What's that? Tomato plant. You see what he did? Whereby our own president came to power, this is what he decided to do. To ride $1 million car. What's this? This is why I said the young people need to rise up. It's about time. Because if somebody who have lived up to 80 years, you're getting closer to death. I was straight in the country, my legacy will be like this. But you come and do the obvious, you come and do the George Weah. What is that? This is my point.
And sometimes it sounds bad when you say the truth, but the truth is we need to get rid of all those. Not because they are old. I'm not against old people, but we talk about people with innovation. I mean, you can bring 100 years old man because of wisdom. He does better for
yes, I agree with you.
Yeah, we applaud him. The single we applaud, and not all young people are innovative, but we look for innovative. But because Africans, it is our general nature, Paul. You know that we respect old people. So if you put me against any 90-year-old man, they say, we think the old man because he had lived long, he get experience. So when I put a 50-year-old man against him, they better take it. And this is how Joe Biden will end up being president. Because people say, oh, the man being government for 45 years, he got experience, he was, and all these things. So because of our nature as African, and this is the same humbleness, the same respect that got us suffering today under the white people. Because when they came to Africa, we were so receptive. We imagine the first black man coming to England, those days. I mean, I'm not talking about after the Vinegar colonizing, but before any white man ever step on African soil. Imagine the first black man coming, get end up in one village in England or in London. Black man. You guys even understand what people say. And you tell them, say, I can't take over one room, or you'll give me one room. You'll be dead right on the spot. But we allow them. One white man could go in went to Victoria Fall and get the people carrying him on their shoulder. He said he went to school Victoria Fall. The waterfall that been there all the time. The people been fishing there, they live there. He said he went to school. Then they named Victoria Fall. Okay? Then the other one going to discover Kilimanjaro when the mountain been there all those years. See, because of our humble nature, this is why we're suffering today. And if you remember the question I asked from the beginning, how did we end up being slaves? How did our parents, not that they couldn't resist, but because they want to be humble. They want, and the same thing got us today. We respect old people. You bring old men, they say, the old man, he gets sense. So the old man president, now knowing some old people do not have one piece of sense. No innovation. The same way some young people got no innovation. So what we're looking for, what Africa needs, that innovative leaders that can say, hey, we'll do this. Leaders that will identify the problem of his country and the people and prioritize those problems. Those are the people who need Liberian Traore. People being power for less than 5 years. See what he had done. A modern country like Liberia that have been independent for 177 years. And then somebody will come tell me and say, oh, the Chinese people coming, we are afraid. No, let me tell you, the China can come and build Africa like China, and they want to take anything, fine. They educate our people, fine. Chinese people not coming take a land to carry. They will not live or in debt. Even though they coming, they extracting something, yeah. But they will not take the country, they will not live or in debt. But the West is leaving us in debt. And they will always own us. But if the Chinese are doing the same thing, fine, I will stand against them. If the Chinese will do the same thing, I will stand against them. But where they come as partners to say, okay, we identify your problems, we want to help you to solve it, we can help you. If the America or France or Great Britain are going to build that AU headquarters, then we're just starting to pay the workers. We didn't start paying the beginning, but get the workers. Then we start paying them because they will contribute their own workers. But the Chinese brother, people, they build it free, they give all the key. until somebody can show me the document that, okay, Chinese people say you'll pay them back. But other than that, the information I got about that building is that the building was built as a freeway gift from the Chinese government. Oh, now why the Chinese are doing that? The Chinese are trying to make their way through Africa to open a Heart of Africa. I agree that later on, maybe 10 years, 100 years from now, the Chinese will begin to, demand certain things. But now, what they're doing, free of charge. Okay, they want to win your heart. It's just like you marry gay, you get one love to the girl. The girl you agree, you still approaching her. So you wear your latest clothes, you go. When the girls I want eat shawarma, you buy it with your last money. The girls I want drink beer, you do it. Okay, with no condition attached until you can win that girl heart. That's what China is trying to do. So for me, the possibility to develop Africa, and even if we have to pay you back, but develop us. Now you colonize or you turn around, then you indebting us all the time through your IMF program. I will choose the person who will develop us and tell us you'll pay me back. Later on we agree. But now you will take out still our risk, the little one will get you take it, still carry, then you turn around, you want us to be your slave forever? No, I will not accept it. That's why I will not accept the West. I will take China all the West. Thank you. And this is my candid position. This is my position henceforth. From now forward, I will accept any country, any nation that will come to help Africa, to develop Africa, whether we will be indebted to them, fine, at least we can point to something. Like now, all African countries can point to the AU headquarters in Kenya and say, this is what the Chinese do. If they want us to pay them back, we'll pay them back later. But at least we can point to something. But not people who will tell you, bring all your gold and keep it in our country, bring all your diamonds, we'll take it from you, then we give you what we need, what we want to give you. Then you say you want to be with them. No way. No. That's me. And that's the kind of mentality I get. Liberia should not be suffering. Our population is so small. We got gold, diamond, iron ore, every damn thing that can make development possible. Then why are we poor? Why are we going to IMF? Why are all these countries coming to Liberia? It's because of what we got. And all over Africa, the same thing. But because we're not making that demand, the people come and test you. It's just like you want what I put in it, all the men can sleep with you. You're not making any demand. So you'll just be there. Until one girl can get up and say, look, listen, before you sleep with me, you'll do this, you'll do that, you'll do that. And then all your customers that you can't sleep with you, they will all get mad. They say, oh, but we still can't sleep with a woman free. But while they all get coming, then she's making a whole lot of demands. And that's what Priority is doing. They don't like it, and they will never like it. The West will never like it. Never. And until we can all stand, until all African, even if out of the 54 countries in Africa, even a 10 or 15 can stand with Traore, the West will learn that lesson. Trust me. I know that submissiveness or humbleness or cowardice or what. I don't know what's our problem in Africa. We got to stand up. When you talk it, some people will not want to hear it, but we got to stand up. And I'm glad that Malcolm X's dream is coming to true. That he said Africans' eyes will open and our eyes are opening. And somebody would say, why it took so long? The Bible, it says in Ecclesiastes that there's time for everything. This is the time for African eyes to open. And if we miss this opportunity, brother, if we slip by under the West again, under the colonial period, my brother, will remain there until the end of the world. Then the world will know that we're not serious for true. So African will have to stand up. And when you talk about African standing up, it got to be violent. Not everything we can use violence. But let's show that solidarity, that support. Let's stand behind each other. Okay? Like this, what's happening in Burkina Faso. Everybody add your voice. If you can make a song, if you can make a video, anything you can do to support it. That's what we're talking about. When we say stand up, we're talking about take arm and go. You can't find the West. They found more than us. We got uranium that can make nuclear bomb, but we're not using it. We're selling it to them. Then they get our bomb now. Small thing, they turn it to us. Then we're afraid. You can't go for France now. They will turn that uranium to you. They will turn that nuclear bomb to you. Then you'll be afraid. If we have started building our own nuclear bomb, France will not talk. the moment they turn that one, if they turn one, we turn 5 to them. They will draw back. It's time for Africans to put our minds together and let's start developing. Let's look at technology. Let's prioritize it. Those are the kind of thoughts that should be in our leaders' head. Not do bounce and go to bed for, they put them in one hotel, then they give them small money, then they come back home and change policy and look at one other African country that is struggling to free its people, then they go and betray you and sell you. Any leader that will do that in Africa, just find your own continent to go, because you will not run away from your country to go anywhere. They will smoke you out anywhere you go. Let me tell you, Africans' eyes are opening to the point where everybody is adding his voice or her voice to this thing here. People eyes are opening, and then this is the time. Somebody will say, why it took so long time, or why now? But to everything, there is a time, and this is the time. It's time to be born, time to die. This is the time Africans' eyes are opening. We've long suffered, and our eyes will open. It will remain open, and we'll see clearly. So, for those of you who say that you afraid, no, my friend, if you die, or we all know we die. So when I see people afraid of death, I laugh. You die in any case. So when you die, how you die, they're two different things. But you can no control order that you die. So why be afraid of death anytime? So it's time for us. We die for our continent. At least we die for something. Today, why people still talking about Patrick Lumumba? Why should people still talking about people continue to talk about Saddam Hussein? All the people, they die for their country. And Gaddafi, they die for their country. Okay, they die for their country. So if you join you for the first time today, this is the Bottom Line Liberian discussions, or we are on platform, a Liberian platform, but we're based in Europe. And somebody was telling me, they will shut down your platform. I don't care. But you shut it down, we open new page. And I'm happy that at least we all wrangling. I don't hear my own country need inside. Norway need inside. If they need there, I'll go for them. They are not there yet. We stay waiting. But on the Irish, if we take it on a continental level, Europe thinks that Africa belongs to them. The same way we're America. Your country, nothing. We stupid people with this and that. Then you're staying in our country. Somebody asked, then why you doing in Europe? Yeah. If no white men have gone to Africa, no black men will be in Europe. If no white men have gone
and
to
that's
Asia,
the fact.
yeah, if no white men have gone to Asia, no Asian will be in Europe. Okay, so the thing is equal. You come to all, we come to you too. Yeah, we face each other, right? I go to Paul.
But Linford, history tells us that if you heard about the moons that ruled Europe,
yeah,
they were blacks.
Yeah, of course, from North Africa.
Yeah, the moons are black.
Yeah,
so
but
if they can rule Europe, so they won't put it in a history.
Yeah, Socrates, all the guys, all the Greek philosophers, they all came to Egypt. But they will not read that part there because but my man, don't even go way back. Don't go to the Moors. Don't go to Socrates. They're coming to Egypt to learn civilization. No. Recently, as recent as in the 1970s, black inventors, people who invented things, they are neither only. The women got a patent right. The traffic level used today, that black man. The washing machine. Yeah, the washing machine, that black man. Even the sewing machine, that blind man, the lawnmower that can cut the grass, that blind man, so many things. The air beater to beat your air, that blind man, something else. So many. I say more. I check it last time. More than 50 some more inventions by black people. But how many black people need on it? None. The lack, even the lack, the power.
If you heard about Pushkin. The great Russian poet, so black. So the thing is, they know that because the video we listened to earlier, you heard what a black gentleman said. The African, they may not have the resources, but they are wise and clever people. You put them in any environment.
We got resources. It's just that we have not put it to use, and we have been depending. But this is what can really look. I started getting mad recently when I got to know that we got all these things, but then we became slaves to people who do not have anything. That can really piss me up. Was there no man to stay? Where did we go wrong? It can really get to me, and the damage have been done.
What did we go wrong? It's still happening now. It's still happening. This is what I'm saying. Liberia. I'll take Liberia for the example. I'll take Liberia classic example. There is no free education in Liberia now. Our days, there was free education because our parents only bought all books. We register us when it's government school. So I can say it for a fact. Now, in Liberia, you have to pay what they call the registration fees. And the registration fee is from $60 up to $180. Some parents cannot afford it, the children don't go to school. So you think on it, there are countries that can't even send that responsible to educate its future generation. That country is tell you, then you let people in the house that change car through 2 times, $45,000 per car. Then you get a president who already closer to death, decide to ride $1 million car. What does that tell you about the mindset of people? So people like that, they don't even know how to generate revenue for their own people to benefit. Guess what? Who they run to? They run to the very white man. Then the white man enslave them. Do the way I want you to do it, then I give you the money. That is how our people, that mindset, that slavery mentality, they refuse to change. This is why we go. So if you find a young person right next door who says, wait a minute, we get so much here that these people can come begging, let hold on, let them beg. I'll take you back when I was in elementary school, this story about the Guinea Mountain, that secretary refused to get the white people because he was thinking about today. When our own people were giving fire, they were giving what? The Nima Mountain, Firestone, all of the things. Secretary said no. Sometime in life, these things that people want, the generation ahead of us will gain from it. But our people, the slave mentality decided to give it to the slave master. So this is what we are. We have not changed. We never gravitated from that slavery mentality to something else. So guess what today? Go to the UN, represent Africa. When America say, oh, we're going to annex everyone in Gaza, Liberia will put their hand and say, yeah, we were you. Because we don't think independently. This is how we are. And this is that what I'm seeing, the young people following Abraham Traoré, seeing what is happening in Burkina Faso. It's about time that they get involved. One day they'll be lucky to beat the head to take the country to that direction. Sierra Leone. Next on Friday, we'll talk about Sierra Leone. The way they're thinking now, they beyond, I think they're leaning more towards Tuareg world doing things. The best thing they think, the fight between the Western, the East and West get nothing to do with Sierra Leone. Whoever waiting to help Sierra Leone, that the people to go with. When people in Liberia start thinking that way,
I listen to
the first lady said it. Yeah. So when people in Liberia start thinking that way, why it must always be America? If Japan can help us, why can't we leave Japan? If Russia can help us, why can't we leave Russia? Why should it be just one master?
Are you getting my point now? Are you getting my point when I argue about the Chinese? When the Chinese will kind of take and take everything, but at least we point to something that they did. We say it did. But America can take rubber. We know that Firestone is the single largest rubber plantation in the entire world. Malaysia got the largest rubber plantation, but Malaysia that group of companies. But Firestone is the single largest rubber plantation in the entire world. And where is it? It's in Liberia. Firestone, the whole country When I lived in Habel for 3 years, working there, I had a friend who was superintendent. This guy myself drove on a plantation one whole day, me pick up, going for inspection. Fashion is a whole county, okay? And you cannot even use condom, balloon or condom. They can't produce it in Liberia. Tell me.
Yeah.
Balloon or condom, which, in fact, yeah, balloon or condom, balloon. We, the children that grew up in fashion, they can face their own ball called ganga ball with the latest. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine?
Yeah.
If it was the Chinese that came, man, look, we'll get there. But Malcolm X said it rightly.
Yeah, we'll get it.
Yeah, people, I will open.
Yeah.
Will open the right
I think
time.
we should close the show. We should close the show today on Malcolm X.
Yeah.
I think we should do that because the message is so powerful. His prediction may come to reality today because what happened, some people, young people now have seen something dramatically that is happening. The revolution that the lawmen calling for. There will be a revolution without a blood. And this is what Malcolm X the man saying. So guys, live for what you think. Let's close up, man. I think it was a great show today.
Let me just give my final word. We want to thank all of you that came here tonight, and probably it's your first time, but we want to say come here on Friday again. No, the next one will be on Friday, and we'll be discussing the issues. So this is what we'll do here. We'll give diverse opinion. Maybe you have heard the news before, but we take it from different angle. So it's good that we are here together. Without us, you will not be here, and without you, we will not just sit here and talk. So it's a teamwork, and we encourage you to always join us every Tuesday and Friday on the Bottom Line Liberia at 7 p.m. Liberian time, 9 p.m. Central European time, 8 p.m. GMT. That's Great Britain GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. So my name is Lynn Fogo, and I was happy that we all were in a community together. And Paul, I know that you are also happy and you like the way the discussion went. I know I was a little bit hard. Sometimes I mean to do that for a reason, to create sensation. Thank you.
Yeah, I think, thank you, Lynn. I think the discussion was good. The topic was very good because not every day must be Liberia, but what's happening in our surrounding. It's good to know that if other countries around are doing the right thing, why can't we point it out to our people that are doing the wrong thing? So it was a good discussion. And to our audience today, we have a lot of followers, and I want to say thanks to them. Maybe they will replay the video again, and people will follow after. It was a great show. And the message from Malcolm X, that was a message, something that he taught on, that African would do because they went through slavery, they suffered, they went through the pain, that one day the black person would sit down and see Loche, and maybe this is the time that in our generation to have young Captain Abraham Traoré, who were born after I graduated from high school. Could you imagine? I was in college when the young man was born.
No, my son was born the same year.
He's thinking, could you imagine for a young man that today the whole world is talking about this young Captain Abraham Traoré? Something about this young man, the transformation of Africa is in his grasp. And now what happened? The Russians are going in to help him to back it up. Those three countries, I hope Guinea could see them and join them. I hope Sierra Leone could join them. Maybe my own stupid country, Liberia, one day we'll see Loche to say, look, let me start following the yeah, I said maybe one day we'll find somebody good to say, oh, let's start following the slave master. Let's do something right for Africa. We cannot be the first nation on the planet, continent called Africa, and then we backward. Somebody have to do something. Now with the storyteller that will get in office, now with Buka Dancer that they anticipate to bring back, we're going nowhere. So somebody need to rise up to the plate. And this is the call for Liberians to see Loche, not a criminal telling them who to vote.
Let me just say one more thing before we go, because you don't want brother on that. When you talk about you hope all African countries and you name like Liberia or all the Guinea and all the people. But let me tell you one thing. You know, some of those countries, and I want to be fair on this one to our African countries, African neighbors, right? some of the countries they mean well, some of the leaders, even some of the old people they mean well for Africa, but they are tangled. Imagine Liberia going to stand and blasting America, saying America is our colonial master. Then America talking. Do you remember when Doe talk about let's pay America's debt? I remember paying $1. Yeah, I paid $1. I just
I paid the same thing. What is to we're collecting money for that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I paid
we
$1
pay.
towards that thing. And guess what? That's what bothering most African countries. They want to stand up, but they are indebted. Liberia, right now, no. Can I go stand and say, oh, and talk and frisky talk? Because we own the IMF, we own the World Bank. In fact, our budget for now, 75% of it is supposed to be covered by the America and other foreign countries like European Union and all these things. So we cannot talk. Let me tell you the secret about Burkina Faso. That the thing that really getting to the West is when Ibrahim Traore took over, he knew that being indebted to these countries will tie your hands. So he cleared all that debt, both internal debt and external debt. That is to IMF, whoever they owe in France or whatever. He paid everything. He struggled. He paid everything. He entered the whole national coffers and paid everything. So the guys are free, man. Nobody can tell you say you.
So why Liberia can do it?
Liberia,
so why we can't do it?
Oh, wait. Let Liberia start to America first because we
no. So why Liberia can pay?
I don't pay when all the money in that country is there and keep it. Liberia does not have money in the national bank.
This is the point I'm making, because for this, you be adapted to your slave master until you have the willpower that, look, we're not going to, from now on, we're not taking nothing from them. We find means to generate our own money. But if you get a storyteller that doesn't have a clue on how to govern, this is where we lead. Then we had a Buka dancer who
see what the storyteller did. See what the storyteller did. He increased the budget depending on what they call international partners. Yeah. Can you imagine? What sense does it make? If you're like Paul, you make your menu in your house. You make a menu in your house, you say, I'll cook chicken meat, I'll cook chicken, I'll cook this on Christmas Day. Then you say, well, I think Lympho will buy all the thing there. Oh,
yeah. So you agree with me? You see, the president will have in Liberia, he's not a leader, he's a storyteller. When you have a granddad, when we were small, go in the interior, we sit out with our grandparents, they will tell us story that will send us to sleep. We have one in Liberia, he's not a leader, he's a storyteller. Because he's not a leader, the country is going nowhere. And now the other one we have, he was a Buka dancer, he entertainer. They're talking about bringing him back. So where are we heading? No other person in the country that people can see reasoning to say, look, this is about time that will have serious amount of people who take over this country. How do we generate money? Look, I alone can come up with 100 ways of getting money from Liberia without you asking World Bank to give you dime. Right here, I can lay it out. In the UK here, as long as you have a house, you're a taxpayer. Every month the government will add 1%, 2%, the taxes keep going up. Then the people who don't have anything, natural resources, the richer, then you will have everything. What kind of logic in there? What are they doing that you cannot do? You see what I'm driving at? Until you have serious money people, you can say, look, in the next 5 years, we will pay back. If we'll eat dry meat or dry cassava, we'll pay everybody that will pay them. You can do that. That's why you value your natural resources. Now, before the United Party government leave office, they will sell Wologisi Mountain. They will sell everything, they will mortgage everything. But in Liberia, you can generate revenue. We have the best coast, the longest stretch. So why we can't focus on fishing and generate money to pay back? Why we can't focus more on agriculture product to pay back? Think on the level. Or let's take Monserrado County. We get from 1 to 17 districts. Each district, how many houses in a district? If District 17 have over 50,000 houses, if that 50,000 houses pay $1 every month, how much? Just that one district. If all the 17 districts pay that amount, you can pay those people money back. Innovation, that's what is lacking in Liberia. So we have a storyteller who now know what to do. The country is confused. Now they won't take us back to a Buka dancer. So where is Liberia heading? There's no other competent people in Liberia, but it must be these people that are violent, that break the rules. They don't accept the ruling of the against the law of the country. Where are we heading? So you see the point I'm making? Until we can find somebody in Liberia that think beyond Captain Touare, Liberia will be a better place. Far country, but we have greedy hunters leading us. So I will end on that note. And to our audience, we'll say thanks for following us. And this is a vast from Marco as I just want you to listen, and then we'll close the show.
There will come a time when black people wake up and become intellectually independent enough to think for themselves, as other humans are intellectually independent enough to think for themselves. Then the black man will think like a black man, and he will feel for other black people. And this new thinking and feeling will cause black people to stick together. And then at that point, you'll have a situation where when you attack one black man, you are attacking all black men. And this type of black thinking will cause all black people to stick together. And this type of thinking also will bring an end to the brutality inflicted upon black people by white people. And it is the only thing that will bring an end to it. No federal court, state court, or city court will bring an end to it. It's something that the black man has to bring an end to himself.
It's the message to our leaders. Think, put the black, stick with Abraham Touare, take cue. Let's move Africa to a different level. And that is the message that Malcolm X in the system when he said that today it coming to pass. We need other countries from West Africa to join the Sahel state. Start thinking. Think better and move the people. So on that note, Linfa, I will say good night and we'll close our commercial break and then we'll call it a night.
Di Lorenzo, G Grace. Hems vocal, Liberia number one vocal, Liberia number one, right? Okay.
The phrase, a new sheriff is in town, does not only belong to law enforcement. How about the introduction of Liberia's premier vodka, a quality and customized liquor for all occasions? Try the flavor of your choice. Hans Vodka, Hans Honey, Hans Bitter, and Hans Original Vodka. Hans Vodka has no hangover. That's why they say Papa drank Mama happy. Hans Vodka is sold in all stores, shops, supermarkets, and entertainment centers in Liberia. For wholesale, contact Hans Vodka at 0777 001114, 0777 000-979. We can also be reached via social media on Facebook and IG at Hans Vodka or www.hansvodka.com. In the United States, please contact Hans North America Incorporated at 610-543-9289, 484-888-1622, 484-755-8411. Hans Vodka is approved by the U.S. federal government. Hans Vodka brings out the real man in you.
I tell you in my boy, in my blood. Every time when I stay on the block, Everybody knows it. We hustle. And forgot that number one. Oh, from Liberia all around. In supermarket store and everywhere. And forgot that